Yo, this is Chris Spencer, and you're on BKS1 Radio.
It's your girl Chanel, BKS1 Radio, and I'm here with the beautiful Garcelle Bouvet.
I'm paying you later.
Hey, I'm the queen of comedy, some more, and right now you're rocking with BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio Network. I'm here with the amazing Miss Tasha Smith. How you doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you for coming out.
Yes, yes.
I really appreciate it.
Hello, Denise Boutte. Hey, what's up? Shout out to BKS1 Radio. See you soon.
Brick City's finest, J.D. Williams. I'm in the Savage Podcast Studio, chilling at BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio. I'm here with the legendary Mr. Dick Gregory. How you doing today, sir?
Fantastic, brother, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Jamie Foxx, BKS1 Radio. What's going on with you?
Storming on. This is George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton for BKS1 Radio. They be doing the dog, y'all.
Yo, this is Chris Spencer, and you're on BKS1 Radio.
Tuesday night, almost 9 o'clock. You are now in the game. I am your host, O-Dog the Stat Tech. O-Dog and host. To my right, to my left, he is
Short Fuse, a.k.a. the Ghost.
As you can see, we are going two-man. Coach V is out. I was told she sounds like a Mississippi bullfrog. I don't know what that sounds like.
Me neither, but hey. Get better.
Ribbit. Yeah, feel better, Coach V. Shout out to Chill, Mr. Keep It Real. He's out there somewhere on the grind. Coach, you know I got on you see my Staten Island Pizza Rat T-shirt?
Yeah, I saw something before they said that because that's a minor league baseball team, right?
That's a minor league affiliate of the New York Yankees.
They
play on Staten Island.
The names of the minor league affiliates teams.
Yeah,
they got some great names. Well, they got because they got one in is it Connecticut? The Yard Goats.
Yard Goats?
Yeah.
They got one. I can't remember. There are a couple of good ones. We should do that one day. Go over minor league baseball teams. But this one was actually named by the fans. They had a contest, and this is what they came up with, the Pizza Rats. Because it's new. The two things about New York, pizza and rats.
Well, not Staten Island. Staten Island known for pizza.
It's New York. It's part of New York.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of New York. All right, folks, you know what happens.
Well,
you know what we do here Tuesday night.
Pizza Rats.
Yeah, the Pizza Rats. That's why you see the hat with the little slice of pizza.
They can take that in so many different ways.
NYC. You see that with
the yeah. Nice.
So I bought this last year because it was a limited time thing, so I wanted to get it. And, you know, I feel like I'm repping for the Yankees in part of the way by wearing it. But anyway, nothing really happened in sports.
That's a nice hat, though. I like the hat.
I like that hat. And it's after, like, the New York City. You remember what the New York City tokens used to look like?
Yeah.
With the NYC in it. So if you could see that, folks, it says NYC with the pizza is the Y. All right. Now, you know, what really happened in sports?
Nothing.
It's kind of a boring week.
Yeah. It's a boring game.
It was a very boring game. Here, shout out to all my Rams fans.
It was a boring game, and I didn't even watch it. Oh, I love this laugh, man. That's the greatest laugh ever.
That's the greatest laugh ever. It is. Shout out to Kawhi Leonard. All right, folks, you know what we're going to do.
Leonard some of his due justice, and he is a lot better than people gave him credit for.
Oh, my gosh, he's so much. He's so good.
He's one of the, he in my mind right now, he's top 5 in the league.
Oh, yeah.
As all around player. I'm not going to say, like, if you're going to say, like, specifically scoring, then you got probably 5 who are better pure scorers. But as far as somebody who score, play defense, all-around player,
all around,
it's not many that's better than him.
When you take in his defensive skills, he might be. Top
he gave
3.
LeBron fits.
Yeah, he gives everybody fits. He plays both ends of the court. He can do it. He has a very nice game. But we're gonna talk. You know where we're gonna start, folks. We're gonna start with this garbage Super Bowl. Now, first of all, Ghost. The first thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna try to control myself. I know you said you didn't watch the game, right?
No.
I was at a Super Bowl party, and I lost it. I lost it from jump, and here's why. CBS and the NFL put on all this stuff about black history and the history of Atlanta and the civil rights movement. They opened the game up. They're showing these great civil rights activists, John Lewis, Maynard Jackson, Andrew Young, former mayors of the city of Atlanta. You blackballed Colin Kaepernick, who stood for racial equality and against social injustice. which is the same thing that you're celebrating on your biggest. Like, I lost it. I was at a Super Bowl party, and I freaking lost it.
That's why it's phony.
I was like, you have got to be kidding me. The very same institution that wouldn't hire Colin Kaepernick gonna parade black folks out there like they care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They care.
And then, like I said, like I was telling you before we got online, and I saw when I read the article that the NFL used a polling company to poll the fans and see if about different topics, but they specifically mentioned Colin Kaepernick and whether a team hiring would hurt the brand. How do you know where that data went? That data could have went anywhere, and could have went to the league, could have went here, and that's why they didn't hire him, because it's sad. Okay, you can drive drunk, kill somebody,
beat on women.
You could rape somebody. You could beat on women. You could do whatever. You could have multiple drug suspensions, and NFL will welcome you back with open arms. But protest the racial inequality and the killing of unarmed black and brown people,
right?
And you will be ostracized
And kicked out of the league, regardless of the talent level that you have. We don't want you if you gonna stand up for black people.
And then the audacity of your commissioner to stand up there in that interview and say, we leave that up to the team.
Right, you're a liar and a fraud.
And if the teams thought that he could win, I'm sure he would be signed.
He's a liar and a fraud. Yeah, I said it, Roger Goodell.
I could have ran down a bunch of names that you can't tell me was better than Colin Kaepernick.
We could very easily start with Nathan Peterman. That's the easy one. I mean, that's a layup.
Start with the guy he beat out in San Francisco, Blaine Gabbert.
There's a bunch of guys. We've been
Mark
through
Sanchez.
this. We've been through this. But let me tell you something. It sickened me. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I didn't watch the game, because I did. You know, I'm at a party. But it did make me angry. And it does make me sick the way they treat their black fans. And I'm going to be real with it.
Because they don't care about you.
They don't.
Because they know what? Because one thing they know is that you ain't going to fight it long enough. We'll hold out longer than you.
That's true.
And you'll come back.
That's true.
But they sided with their base on who they don't want to offend.
You're absolutely right, Ghost.
And the line's been marked. So now it's on you whether you want to support it or you don't want to support it.
You're absolutely right. Now, let's get
actually donated to Know Your Rights.
Yeah. I've donated. I donated a while ago.
I donated to them over the thing.
Let's get down to the brass tacks of it all. And by the way, you can cheat in this game. You can get suspended in this game. And later on that same year,
I read an article. I don't know who somebody sent a tweet. I don't know if it was oh man, I forget the big football guy's name. And they said you should not be able to win Super Bowl MVP if you've been suspended for PEDs the same year.
The hypocrisy of this league. Julian Edelman, folks, if you don't recall, let me remind you, was suspended for the first 4 games of this year. This football season, for use of performance-enhancing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a Super Bowl MVP going to Disney World. Mm-hmm. God bless America, right?
Somebody said that. I was like, well, I didn't think about that. I was like, oh, wow. Because I completely forgot he was suspended.
Absolutely. And most
PEDs.
of us, I forgot too till I heard. I was like, oh, snap, that was this year? Because the season's so long.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the month of September. We're now in February.
And then they don't bring that up.
Of course.
As much as they bring it up, like if it was Josh Gordon or somebody else. Every time, even when they're back playing, they bring up their suspensions.
Well,
you got what you deserve, because first of all, the Rams should have never been there.
Hey, you know what? And speaking of shouldn't have been there, let's show the people what they were doing in New Orleans while the Super Bowl was going on. First of all, show this. That was on that clip, folks. That line was on the front page
of the newspaper
of the New Orleans Times-Picayune. Yes. That was on the front page.
It was a full page thing, and it's a blank.
Yes.
And also it was Super Bowl.
Blank. I loved it. Now show the people what they did in New Orleans. I love the fact that they were down there giving their own and in the only way that New Orleans can do it, a second line parade.
Welcome, Mr. Harvey.
A second line parade down there, I know Drunk Falcon don't care. He probably happy that them Saints fans weren't watching it because they would have bombarded his city and took over his town.
You know what? Speaking of Atlanta, right? So I'm on Instagram. You know, I see people promoting certain things. They had a stripper bowl on Monday.
They had a what?
A $500,000.
Oh yeah, I heard about that
stripper bowl.
Yeah, I saw that on TMZ. I saw that.
I was like, your whole city is just known for strip clubs.
No, it was a record company of 2 artists put together a big party to send off all the shoe models.
That's what they call them?
Shoe models. That's what, you didn't know that? That's what they call them, shoe models. I forget what record company it was.
Did you go participate in the
let me tell you something.
Strip off?
Let me tell you something. That was out of a lot of people's leagues. You didn't see the clip?
No, I didn't see the clip.
I didn't see the clip?
I just saw the flyer and they said the $500,000 stripper bowl. I was
Bruh,
like, wow.
I've been to some shoe modeling events. I don't go at all anymore because I have different priorities. But when I was younger, in my younger days, you know, and I haven't been to anything like this because these gentlemen,
it made the news,
bruh. They were doing some next level donations, and that's what all I could say. It was,
and I said to somebody, I said, "Yo, a lot of people's tuitions are getting paid this weekend."
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can pull this up while we talk.
I mean, that's crazy. Hey, everybody got to eat.
Hey, we all got to eat. It was Migos and Little Baby's record label host a $600,000 stripper bowl in Atlanta. Now, it goes, you can see the quick video.
I can see the stacks of money.
You see that? That's some next level stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's out a lot of people's league.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even went to that.
No, that's some stuff where
my little $5 would have been
right. That's what I was. I'm like, excuse me, ma'am. I have a 5. Look at this. You see how these cats? You see what these cats are carrying?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's over.
These gentlemen have stacks and stacks and stacks.
And probably each stack is $1,000.
And let me tell you something, Ghost. I live my life. Well, I try to live my life.
That's a box full of money.
That's what I'm saying. These are all $100 singles. No, they all singles. But look at this. It is literally raining money in this establishment. I mean, they doing what Steve Harvey called the Steve Harvey clap.
See, but you know, I wouldn't even had fun at that. It's too many people.
It's too many people.
I don't want to be that crowded. I don't want to be that elbow to elbow with somebody.
Right. And this is a place called the Gold Club. Look at this. They opening up boxes of money. Now, here's my thing. I tell people you should live by what I call the Warren Buffett rule. Have you ever seen Warren Buffett in a strip club throwing money around like this?
Well, he probably got his own room.
Have you ever seen it?
No, it's probably it's sacred.
You know,
Warren Buffett got his own. They come to his house.
I don't think they do.
You got billions. He got a strip club in his basement. Come on, man. Warren Buffett. He just make a phone call.
Get the ladies over here.
Give me about 20.
You may be right. I don't think that's true.
I mean, he ain't do it when he was on his way up to being the world's richest man. I'm just joking. I don't know Warren Buffett's.
I will tell you this,
but I highly doubt he's in any club or any kind of establishment, whether it's a food, disco club, strip club, or whatever, throwing away
money like that.
$100,000.
That's my point. That's my point. Warren Buffett. Now, look, I'm gonna tell you. I always say, listen. Would Warren Buffett been down to pick over 20? Hell yeah. Then I'm gonna pick up that 22. I'm not too good for that.
And I go by what Gerald Ford. Started for it. He said one of his things was, he said, if I'm walking down the street and I see a nickel or a penny, I'm bending over picking it up.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. I ain't gonna
all
lie.
money is good. He's like, I'm taking everything.
Absolutely. I see a penny, that's mine. Ooh, I just got a penny richer.
And it depends on how fast I'm walking.
Listen, if I see I can get to it.
Sometimes I might walk if I'm like, I'm just don't feel like bending over right now. I won't bend over and get it. Then sometimes I walk past it, then I turn around and come back and get it.
Don't let me see a dime. I'll be like, a quarter? Oh man, it's a good day, baby.
I know exactly where I live. There's a certain place everybody always drop their change, and I walk by there real slow every day.
Callers, you know you can call in. The call-in number is 646-233-1302. One more time, 646-233-1302. All right, and you know we have our amazing guests, friends of the show. We got Jamal Murphy calling in, Gerard Hector calling in. We're going to do all things NBA with them. We're going to talk Anthony Davis, NBA trade deadlines. We got a lot going on. You know, Gerard has his host, his podcast is called Jenna and Gerard 7 Footers Podcast. Check them out on YouTube. Jamal Murphy, you know, he's on Bros Pod, and he has his fantasy podcast. We'll let him plug that. And don't forget, tomorrow night, if you want more sports, I know we got live on the site for you if you're a hip-hop head, but if you need more sports, check out my boys on Sportscast Live. It's Sportscast Life. I think it's Sportscast Live. I always mess that up. I got to get that. But the Sports Guru, they come on from 9 to 11 our time, and they do sports like we do. A little crazier, though, man. Them cats are crazy, but I love them.
Good guys.
Yeah, and if you miss our show, you can get it off their website because they've been putting our show up.
Oh, nice.
We appreciate that. And shout out to Josh and Knocker. And, so the game, listen, at the end of the half, it was 3-0. It's still a ball game, Ghost.
It was a ball game up to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, it was, I don't know, it's trash.
If they
scored it was one touchdown scored the whole game.
If they told Sean McVay, listen, at halftime it's going to be a 3-0 game, you're down, would you take it?
Yeah. Anybody.
If they told you, listen, your defense is going to hold the Patriots to 13 points, how you feel about that?
Oh, I'm feeling I'll take it.
You're averaging 33 points a game. You're feeling pretty damn good.
I'm going to tell you, and I've been saying this since the middle of the year when it happened, the Rams put up a lot of points against teams that don't play defense well, but that offense changed when Cooper Kupp went out. Cooper Kupp is their Edelman, basically.
That's fair.
He was Goff's safety net.
Fair.
He had, you couldn't really just say I'm gonna ignore him because he could put a lot of outside. He did a lot of moves out of the slot, so he took a lot of the pressure off, and it was another dynamic because now when he was gone, because the tight ends were never really that great, and then you put in another guy who played the slot. I forget his name, Reynolds, I believe, who stepped in for him for most of the year, but he's not as gifted as a route runner. He might be a little faster than Cooper Kupp, but he wasn't the same type player. I think he changed their offense. Now, should they have scored more than 3 points? Yeah, but Belichick is going to he's going to take away your main weapon. And he's like, look, we go in there, we got to stop Gurley and stop the run game. You know what? We'll take a chance with Goff trying to beat us. You know what shocked me the most? First of all, let me. Well, you didn't watch the game, so you just shot me down on most of my questions. I was going to ask, did you enjoy the game? But you didn't watch it. You didn't enjoy it. No.
Do you think? Would you characterize it as a good game?
No. Well, It depends. If you like defense, I guess like most people, from what I was reading, I didn't watch it, but I kept up with like the comments afterwards and the commentary. If you like defensive games, then then they say it was a good game. If you like offensive scoring games, no, it all depends on what perspective that you like. Now, if I would have watched it, I wouldn't have liked it because I don't like neither team. If it's my team, it could be a 6-3 game. My team because they're on top. I love it. It was a great game. It was a great game. But if it's teams that I don't like playing, I want excitement. And I just think this wasn't, even though it was a defensive battle, it wasn't an exciting defensive battle. What was exciting about it? I'll say this about it. While I can't say I didn't like it, but I also can't say that I did, which is odd because I felt like you were sitting there waiting for the play to happen, waiting for something to happen. I will tell you this. I thought that was a huge mistake kicking to Cordarrelle Patterson on the opening drive. I thought, and like everybody, I was stunned at the Patriots defense. Why? The Patriots defense looked hella fast. There were two specific plays that I remember, and they even talked about it on Next Gen Stats. There was a linebacker that came and sacked Goff, and he came in the picture and got to Goff with speed that I had not seen on that Patriots defense. And then there was the play where Brandon Cooks, who had a bad game by all accounts, caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone, but somehow one of the McCourty twins came out of nowhere and knocked it out of his hands. Shout out to the McCourty twins, RU in the house, helping to win the Super Bowl. I mean, he really came out of nowhere, and there was a stat that they showed. They said he was running at his top speed. He was at like 19 miles an hour. Oh, wow. His closing speed was ridiculous. It's those next-gen stats. I'll pull it up at the half, and we'll go through it.
But defenses were solid. The Rams defense didn't bend until late. They only gave up, 200, what was the total offense? He had 262 receiving, 154 yards rushing, but the Patriot defense, 62 yards rushing. What was up with Todd Gurley? They only gave their running backs 18 touches.
Todd Gurley ain't been the same since he hurt his knee and he missed those last 3 games in December. He really wasn't the same.
But what happened? Where was the bowling ball?
Did they run him?
They ran him 7 times, 22 yards.
You know what happened? The Patriots took the run game away and then they stopped running the ball.
They sure did.
And you then you get to the point you let the Patriots dictate to you what you were going to do.
I mean, it was. I kept sitting there, so I'm watching the game and I'm saying, okay, well, something's going to happen. There's going to be a big play eventually. It never came. It never came from either side. We have the highlights on here, folks. That's why you see me looking to my right, just glancing at it. It just never came until that final drive where, and again, if they tell Sean McVay, you're going to hold him to 13 points, Brady's going to, not only is he not going to throw any touchdowns, he's going to throw an interception.
Yeah, you think you're going to win.
You like your chances?
Yeah.
You're like, hell yeah. If they give you this stat line.
I mean, if you gave that stat line against any quarterback, your defense is going to hold the starting quarterback to under 200 yards, no touchdowns, and interception.
Yeah, 262 yards, only 21 completions, no touchdowns, interception.
You're thinking, go wild, got a good chance. But
Tom Brady's QBR was 25.8. Unfortunately, Jared Goff's QBR, unfortunately for the Rams, was a 13.4.
Hey, you know what's funny?
What's that?
The defensive coordinator for the Patriots, did he get the Dolphins job?
Brian Flores, yes, he did. He was announced yesterday. Or today, actually.
He's announced before. They signed him. They gave him the job, I think, before.
Right. Well, they had his press conference today.
Yeah. They never get credit for how good the defense does.
Oh, no.
Even when it was Matt Patricia.
Oh, no.
It's always Belichick. Belichick's going to outsmart you. Belichick's going to do this.
Oh, yeah.
So the coaching staff, except for the offense, the coaching staff doesn't. I think the defensive coaching staff don't get as much credit as they deserve on how.
Well, that's a function of. That's also a function of
the Rams' offense.
Well, not only that, but when you think about those coordinators that have left, you got Romeo Cornell, Charlie Weiss, Bill O'Brien. Who's the one now that just left recently? Matt Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
None of them have had the same success of Bill Belichick. Not that anybody's going to have that.
Let's wait a minute now.
Okay.
Bill Belichick walked in. Parcells left the Patriots in a good position.
Yes.
Bill Belichick took over.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they had some draft picks from the Curtis Martin deal. They had a good foundation.
Mm-hmm.
All these coaches that left Bill Belichick, they went to teams that were terrible.
Well, yeah.
And
that's usually what happens.
But in this day and age, you don't get a long time to make a change.
Right.
So they're getting teams that didn't have the foundation that say Belichick had when he took over the Patriots. And you expect them to build the foundation and start winning in a matter of 2 to 3 years, and if they don't, then you fire them and move on. You're not giving them that long that time.
You're absolutely right.
Because let's put it this way: if Parcells left the Patriots, well, but I mean, if Belichick left the Patriots, and either one of those, Cornell, Patricia, any one of them stepped up and just took over the Patriots as they were now, would they still do well?
You'd have to think they would have some success.
Right, because the foundation and the players and everything is there.
At least for the next foreseeable future, like 3 to 5 years.
In a couple years, they'll be good.
Absolutely.
Because what happened to Belichick with the Browns?
He stuck. He sucked. He sucked.
It's all about the situations you come into.
And listen, they don't give head coaching jobs away when you have good teams. You're always going to get a bad team. And like you said, this is a win now league. This is the NFL. This is professional sports. There's a lot of money at stake. A lot of what do you call it? Legacy, if you want to go that way. Guys' careers are shorter. You got guys retiring. Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders. You go back. Did you see any of the commercials? Speaking of Barry Sanders,
no.
You didn't see the commercials. There was one good commercial. First of all, let me tell you something. As a unit overall, this was a below average, subpar whole Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, it was very disappointing for me. I regard Super Bowl Sunday as somewhat of a holiday for me. I really get excited, and it goes back mostly to the '90s when the Cowboys were in it. You know, I would take, especially when the Cowboys win it. You can tell me nothing. Don't talk to me. Don't call me. I'm watching Super Bowl coverage from 10 o'clock in the morning till the time the game kicks off.
Right.
And the only time I'm not watching is the half hour I'm driving to whatever Super Bowl party I'm going to.
See, now I'm not the type where if the Cowboys were in it, back when I watched it, I'm not watching the game with nobody. I'm not going to a Super Bowl
serious?
party. No, I'm not watching with nobody.
See, I
now, if somebody want to come by and
watch.
watch, oh, cool. But I'm not going to sit in the crowd with a bunch of people because I'm not going to want you. I don't want you talking to me. I don't want you distracting me. I am into the game.
I hear you.
And if they start losing and you start talking trash, I might hit you. So,
all right. Caller from the 860. State your name. You are in the game.
Hey, dog. It's your old buddy Murph.
Oh, what's going on, Murph?
Now, tell me something. Did either of you people have any problem with Von Miller winning the MVP of Super Bowl? What was it?
It was 51, I believe it was,
Yeah.
right? Absolutely. He shouldn't have won it either.
He shouldn't have won it either.
Nope.
How about Brady? Should Brady have not won against Atlanta?
Was he suspended that year?
Right.
Because of that trumped-up suspension?
He wasn't suspended for PEDs. He was suspended for something else.
Yeah, he was suspended for just not cooperating.
Yeah,
So that's a different story.
Whichever. That's a different story.
Right.
All right. So, what do you guys want them to do? Reopen collective bargaining?
Well, that's going to happen anyway.
Have them move that out. Do you think the Players Association is going to go for that?
The players aren't going to go for that.
Well, no. And Murph, you know, with the NFL, it is difficult. And see, the NFL has a perfect setup because the players are never going to long-term strike. And they're never going to long-term strike because their careers are short.
And the players' union is trash.
And then, not to mention the players' union is trash. But nobody's giving up a year of a short career for so that other guys can benefit behind them. So
no, they're not.
They're just not doing it.
Right.
So
No,
we can have this discussion about the collective bargaining agreement, but the players are in an unfair. They are disadvantaged. And they're in an unfair bargaining position. They can't. When you have millionaires fighting billionaires, we know who wins that, and it's been proven time and time again. The billionaires always win.
Right.
So,
but that doesn't have really anything to do with whether or not you can play in the postseason.
Well,
and whether or not
we didn't say
to
not play.
Win the MVP award. The guy was the most valuable. Honestly, I would have given it to Dante Hightower.
But don't you see the irony of it? Isn't it
reckless individual on that field last night?
Isn't it somewhat? I agree with you though, but isn't it somewhat ironic that a guy who was suspended 4 games at the beginning of the year is now the Super Bowl MVP? You don't see the irony in that?
No, not really. Especially since they still haven't, figured out what they suspended him for.
Well, it was PEDs and performance-enhancing drugs.
It was a substance that wasn't on the list.
Yeah, but it wasn't on the list.
Right.
But that doesn't matter. Really.
There's nothing. How can you suspend a human being for something that's not on a list?
Well, he acknowledged,
and they still haven't figured out what it was that he took to even put it on the list.
Well, see, if that's the case, then why didn't he fight it? He acknowledged his mistake.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Too bad, you had a spike, so you're out. Doesn't matter that it's not on the list. You had a spike."
Well,
if
that's the case, and they don't know what he was taking, and it wasn't on the list of banned substances, then that's an unfair suspension.
It is. It was. And the Patriots paid the price for it. But he shouldn't pay the price for it for the rest of the season. That's what the suspension is. You get popped the first time, it's 4 games. He missed his 4 games. He missed 4 game checks. And then he's back on the field. That's the way it goes.
Now, let me ask you this, Murph. Do you feel the same way about baseball players and when they get popped for PEDs?
No.
Why is that?
Do I think that it's overzealous in what we do to players? You've got to be more specific with that question.
Well, I mean, do you think that? Why don't you look at because I hear you saying with Edelman, with NFL players, he served a suspension. That's what the suspension is for. Move on. But I asked you, do you feel that same way with baseball players?
Yeah.
And you said no.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Oh, you do.
No. I misunderstood.
Okay.
How you were phrasing the question.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Move on. Okay. I've long fought the fight to include. There are already guys in the Hall of Fame who have juiced.
Absolutely.
Right now. Absolutely. I'm telling you right now that Jeff Bagwell juiced.
Oh, everybody knows that. Come on. You picked an easy one, Murph.
He went to high school in the same town as I did.
Right. Oh, so you have inside information.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
See, that's what I'm talking about,
I knew him
Murph.
when he was 15 years old. I knew him when he was 18 years old. I knew him when he played at the University of Hartford, and then I saw him when he played in Major League Baseball.
Awesome.
And this man took, and he took a lot.
Copious amounts, as they say.
Yeah, copious amounts. I'm convinced that my hero, my favorite player of all time, Ricky Henderson, juiced.
I would sign off for that. I would agree with that.
At that level.
Yeah, I could totally see that. There are certain guys when you look at them and you see, and I don't know what it was with baseball when they got those tight uniforms, and you could see guys' legs just busting out. And I mean, unless you Saquon Barkley squatting like 500, you're not getting those type of legs unless you know what I'm saying. That's
unless
always the indicator. Unless you're getting help,
500.
huh?
You know, why do you think Manny walked around in the baggiest clothes that he could find?
Oh no, who was that?
Manny.
Oh yeah,
the greatest right-handed hitter I've ever seen, and he will not go into the Hall of Fame because of some bullshit test.
All right, well, let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you this: since you talked about Manny, and I know you're in the Hartford, you're in the New England area, right, Murph?
Yeah, I'm right outside of Hartford.
Okay. Does David Ortiz get in?
Yes.
Okay.
He will.
Why?
Because he never got popped for a test. He got popped on what people call the baseline test,
right?
And then that got leaked, which was never supposed to get leaked.
That was the Mitchell report.
The Mitchell report. And nobody knew what they were testing for at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got hit, one, it wasn't supposed to count against you, and two, you didn't know what they were testing for then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at that point in time, you could take you could buy Andorol at frickin' GNC. You know, it was awful.
Yeah, that was those days when you could get that.
I think Poppy goes in.
You can get that androstenedione. I remember I took some of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, all that good stuff that was at GNC.
You could buy that right over the counter.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right.
Right over the counter.
That's fair. Hey, Murph, I want to tell you I appreciate the call, brother.
No, it was a great Super Bowl. I don't know what you guys were watching. I watched a great Super Bowl.
I was watching.
Said the guy in the New England area.
I was watching the ID Network, so
I was really tired of fantasy football every freaking week, and we finally got a defensive battle that was played in between the 30s, and the best player in the world came out on top in the end. So
I didn't mind it. I didn't necessarily enjoy it, but I won't say it was bad football. If I had to go one way or the other, I would say I liked the game. I thought it was an okay game. I would have liked a few more scores. I'm not looking for Rams Chiefs 54-51. I would have liked 27-24, 30-27, but I understand that you don't get those, Go ahead.
Two brilliant game plans, and it was a great game. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way it came, of course, the way that it came out, but You couldn't have. It wasn't a sloppy football game.
Well, there were some bad passes. Now, truth be told, Brady missed on a couple of passes. He skipped a couple of balls. Goff wasn't exactly sharp. He skipped a couple of balls. I mean, they overall.
Brady wasn't turning the ball over again.
That's true.
That was the thing. It was 3-0 throughout most of the game. 3-3. He was not going to turn the ball over again. It was not going to be. I'm going to zing this into a tight window until I absolutely positively have to. And they finally got the Rams into their base defense, and they ran 22 and were able to flex people out. And if they had read my keys over at diehard Boston sports fans,
there you go, Murph. Way to get it in. You learned something, huh?
Before the game, they would have. You would have gotten your more scores there. All right, man. Great show.
Hey, plug your site one more time, man.
Say that again.
Plug. What was that you were plugging? Plug it one more time.
Oh man, you go ahead. You can check me out at Diehard Boston Sports Fans. You can follow me on Twitter at TMurph207. All right.
Hey,
guys.
brother, thanks
Have
for
a good
calling,
one.
man.
Thanks for calling in.
Appreciate your
All
support. That's the great Murph. He is part of the Sportscast network that we support. You know, he's up in the Hartford area, so shout out to Murph. Appreciate you, brother. What time is it? Where we at? We're at 10. You know, we're gonna take a quick 2-minute break, and we're gonna come back. We got Jamal Murphy calling on the other end, the other Murph. We got Gerard Hector calling in a few minutes. We're going to talk some NBA, and we're going to put this whole thing in perspective. Keep it locked to hear what Andrew Whitworth of the Rams said about the Super Bowl. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
See, I don't know why I trust you. Crazy now, I'm just too on. Maybe now I'm just too gone. Maybe now I'm just looking for that same vibe that you on. Cause I'm out here with my boys, going crazy in this bitch. Overseas, getting Benz, no Mercedes in this bitch. We made the album 9 months. Had a baby in this bitch. I'm with your babe on the run, like I'm Jay-Z in this bitch. I don't smoke a lot, but I get green. But ball out, no SBs. I caught you out, you got serving that beat stop, no step team. I came through and that's real shit. No, Novocaine, but I feel this. Feeling kid when I feel banks. I still be spitting that Will Smith. I shut it down, we do that. Hell yeah, we knew that. Your girl gave me them crazy eyes. Orange is that new black. Cold out, so I think about it. Trust me out, so I drink about it. They talk a lot, but it's all good, so it's too real. Don't think about it. She take me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face. She can see through my soul. I said, don't think about it. I said, don't think about it. She took me out of my place, but I stay in my zone. Look me right in my face. She can see through my soul. I said, don't think about it. I said, don't think about it. Came up as a church boy with my dukes on weekends. Waking up at like 6, man, you don't get paid if you sleep in. Man, you don't know where I come from. You don't know what I've been through. Realize I don't say shit about all the bread that I sent you. You getting mad, I'm sitting back, I'm fucked up, I'm getting trash. Gotta go.
All right. Welcome back to In the Game. WBKS1.com. To my left, he is
Short Fuse, aka the Ghost.
And I am your host, Old Dog, the Stat Tech in the building. Old Dog in the house. You know, Ghost, I teased it before we took a break. And there was one guy who put this whole thing in perspective. Andrew Whitworth, lineman for the Rams. I'm going to play his comments, his post-game comments. And when I read it, this is a testament to why you have to sometimes get things in context. Because I read it and I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy what he said. And then I went and I pulled the clip of it and I said, well, because the media is funny. They only told you a small part of it. Takes. Yeah, they only told you a small part of it. Mm-hmm. But they didn't give you the whole clip. So here's what his original clip was.
You're not going to get me to pout and feel sorry for myself. I realize what this game means. I cherish the crap out of it, and I don't give a crap if you have a Hall of Fame bust, if you're been a Pro Bowler or win 20 Super Bowls. At the end of the day, you're all going to die, and you're all going to have the opportunity to play football or not be playing football. And who you are, how you carry yourself, whether you pout and feel sorry for yourself is the only thing that's going to matter, because that's what people are going to remember about you. You know what? And so for me, what means the most is that guys see me hold my head high. They see me confident in them and loving them and there for them in any way I can moving forward.
I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah.
He
basically lost the game.
Right.
His life is bigger than football.
That's right.
Basically. And he's not going to pout about it. He's going to be there, be strong for the people, for the teammates. And that's it. Move forward.
And I think that's the best way to put it. I mean, but the media only gives you this part.
At the end of the day, you're all going to die.
That was the headline. Andrew Whitworth says,
at the end of the day, you're all going to die.
I was like, whoa.
Media ain't shit.
I was like, whoa. But clearly there's more context to it.
They don't care about context.
No. Because, you see that.
Media cares about hot takes. Every media outlet basically want to be like, shock.
But it was crazy because I saw that and I'm sending it to a couple of buddies. I'm like, what's up with your boy, man? What are you talking about? I mean, I know at the end of the day we all going to die, but damn, you ain't got to, kick me in the balls with it, beat me over the head with it.
See, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I knew you wouldn't have.
It's true.
I know you. I knew
in the day, you all gonna die.
I knew you liked that clip because
why you worry about it?
You're a ratchet ass over there.
Hey, you all gonna die.
You're crazy ass. I figured you'd like that. But yeah, Murph was talking about it, and like you said, Tom Brady was very conservative. They threw it 35 times. Him and Goff basically had the same game. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady didn't throw for a touchdown. Neither did Goff. They both threw one interception. Tom Brady had 21 completions. Goff had 19.
Sonny Michel and Edelman were different makers.
Yep. Sony Michel had 94 yards. Rex Burkhead had a couple of big runs. Julian Edelman.
At one point, the University of Georgia Bulldogs backfield had Todd Gurley, Sonny Michel, and Nick Chubb.
Ain't that something?
And Gurley was head and shoulder. Well, Gurley still is head and shoulders, talent wise, until he blew his knee out in college. They had a crazy backfield.
How is it? Do you think that it's a big part of it that Brady takes less money? He's not looking for the $30 million payday. Does that help the team overall?
No.
No?
Because you know why?
Why?
Who else they give money to?
Nobody. So if that's the case, why didn't Brady ask for more? If they're not spreading it around and helping him get more assets to...
He probably gets it somehow.
Yeah, he might.
Who are they spreading it around to? Him, Gronk, and who else gets big time money?
Nobody. I don't know. Did you hear before they went to the Super Bowl, the chant that Brady?
Who's more important to the Patriots, Brady or Belichick?
I'm going to go Belichick. I should have asked Murph
Belichick.
that. I should ask Murph that. Murph, if you could jump in on the BKS1 Radio TV YouTube channel, I'd love to hear your opinion on who's more important, Brady or Belichick.
And is Brady the best quarterback ever?
I mean,
no.
Don't
get winning is a team game.
I agree. You're not gonna get me to tell me. Like, first of all,
we're gonna go talent wise. Talent wise, no.
Well, you know what they said, right?
Nowhere near the best quarterback ever.
Brady now has a ring for every quarterback that was drafted ahead of him.
I'm not knocking his legacy because that is ridiculous how good he's been. But if I'm talking about, if you're talking about arm talent and talent wise, Dan Fouts is up there.
Well, Dan
Marino is up there.
Joe Montana.
Rodgers.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
Breeze.
Yeah. But I think this is the wrong time to have this conversation after he wins.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the greatest.
After he wins, because like you said, it wasn't exactly he that went out there and won the damn thing. That defense. I mean, there are a couple of plays that I could show you on this post that were just ridiculous. Specifically, I'm very impressed by, and I know you're going to think I'm a little bit biased, but I'm not. The play that McCourty made in the back of the end zone to take the touchdown away from Cooks was amazing.
No, they said that was a game-changing play.
Oh, yeah. That would have tied the ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was late in the game. Let's see if I can find it real quick. But there were also, here, I think this is it right here. Look at this. That's a heck of a play. Actually, that held them. That would have gave them a 7-4 lead. Instead, they kicked the field goal. The field goal kicking was horrible, by the way. But just look at McCourty come out of nowhere. I mean, he just came out of nowhere on that pass. I was stunned at that. And then there was the sack on the linebacker was just ridiculous. I was like, holy mackerel. How the heck did he get that one done? But the Patriots' defense was impressive, man. It was just impressive. And they do what they do just enough to win.
Last year?
Well, because Alabama won the championship last year. Didn't I tell you on the show last week? What did I tell you? Why did I pick?
Yeah.
I said I'm picking the Patriots because the Patriots and Alabama never win in the same year, and Alabama lost. I said, and that's the only reason I'm picking the Patriots. 6 years in a row. 6 years in a row.
That's crazy.
Now, if Gurley gets up and he's doing all this and flipping the ball, why didn't he get more than 10 carries?
Hey, sometimes the offensive coordinators try to outsmart themselves.
Too cute by half, as they like to say. All right, we got our guest calling in a couple of minutes. We got Gerard Hector leading off our NBA trade coverage. Then we're going to follow him up with Jamal Murphy coming in. We're going to talk a little NBA. There were some interesting stats, though, that I do want to talk about, Ghost. Let me see if I can find it.
Murphy, Tom is the best to ever play the
What's he saying?
He's the best to ever play the game. He has 9 winning drives in the fourth quarter of all 9 Super Bowls played. The D let him down in all 3 losses. Yeah, well.
Is it
the
D's fault?
D didn't let him down when he fumbled against the Eagles.
Oh, here's a clip I got to pay for you, and this is just the facts.
I'm not going to say he's the greatest to ever play the game. That's
to ever play the game. That's a bit much.
Are you going talent-wise? Or are you going just wins?
Really with the
talent-wise, no, he's not.
Then, they mixed it up. They had played almost
Listen to what Sean McVay says.
Coverage principles and decided to take away. And really, in the early downs, all they ended up doing was playing some single high buzz structures and some quarters principles. And then third down they had their designers and things like that. But they did a great job. It was a great game plan, and no other way to say it. But I got outcoached tonight.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He said it right there. I got outcoached tonight.
You know what? Until I go back and look at the tape,
How old is he?
it's really
33.
Hard to say, Jason.
That's crazy to me.
It is crazy when you think about what you were doing at 33.
Yeah.
What the heck was I doing at 33? I certainly
coaching an NFL team
in a Super Bowl.
And then what can the players do better to execute? And those will be things that
I couldn't have been doing that.
And his mind is just crazy.
Like
there's special minds in football. Like they remember a lot of things going on. Like Belichick remembers coverages and all that.
Oh yeah.
There's certain coaches who just remember things. And you're like, wow, no wonder why they win.
Now, here's the funny thing. Murph talks about how great Tom Brady is. Tom Brady's 2 Super Bowl losses, when they do the quarterback comparison, are to Eli Manning and Nick Foles. Think about that. He lost to Eli Manning and Nick Foles.
Nick
twice. Foles. Yes, he lost to Eli twice.
Thank God for Eli.
Oh, my gosh. Now, there's some really, really cool stats that I just wanted to throw out. There's one of them, hold on, that I saw that I just wanted to throw out there because this one was really interesting. Here we go. Julian Edelman averaged 3.9 yards of separation, consistently getting open, which they characterize as 3+ yards, on 75% of his targets in the Super Bowl.
Mm.
Tom Brady's quick release, 2.44 seconds, negated the impact of Aaron Donald, who was held to a season-low 1 QB pressure. And the Patriots blitzed on 50% of the plays, pressuring Jared Goff 14 times, tied for the second most pressures Goff has faced in the game this season. The Patriots sent 6 pass rushers on Gilmore's fourth-quarter interception. So they were blitzing the heck out of him.
Oh, yeah.
And they just dominated.
They said they wanted to put the ball in his hands and you make him make decisions.
Young quarterback, what is this, his third year?
Third year going in against a Belichick coach defense, you're not going to win.
I could not, but how did Nick Foles is a veteran, I guess.
And what's the name called a better game?
Doug Peterson.
Yeah, I mean, then they got the bullshit no call on that whatever Philly special that should never been a play.
Yeah. Was there a false start on there, right?
I don't know what it was. They said it wasn't supposed to be a play, and then you had Brady fumble.
All right, now let me tell you a little bit about the other parts of the Super Bowl. The halftime show sucked. I don't care what anybody says. I like Maroon 5. I like their music. They're catchy. They're poppy. I like the songs. Moves like Jagger. I like all that. Harder to Breathe. I like all that. Sugar. I know all their songs. The performance stunk. Who's this young guy that came out? Do you know who the other guy? Travis Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost, let me tell you how old I am. I thought it was going to be a country singer. That's how out of touch I am with hip hop. He came out. I was like, don't that sound like a country singer named Travis Scott?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a country singer. So when he came out, I was like, oh, he's a rapper? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
and then
like
he came out. He did like 45 seconds. Big Boy came out. He did like one song, or like he didn't even do. He did like maybe 16 bars, as you like to say, of "I Like the Way You Move." He had my man Brown on. What's homeboy's name?
Oh, the guy who sings the hook.
Yeah, he had this guy that sings the chorus. They came out, and, just when you started to get, I thought it was going to get a little ATL feel. And then they backed off stage. I was like, well, that was a little bit disappointing. I thought I was going to get, something from maybe 2 or 3 cuts from Outkast, Big Boy. But no. And then they went back to Maroon 5, and then Adam Levine started ripping off his clothes, and then I walked away.
Yeah, I heard he ripped his shirt off.
I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done here. There's nothing for me to see here. So I thought that sucked. The commercials were horrible. Just absolutely horrible. Nothing memorable about them. None of those commercials like in the past. You had the commercials.
What is the greatest Super Bowl commercials ever?
Yeah,
because that went
was
and
viral.
lasted forever.
Yes,
because even after the Super Bowl,
yes.
it ran forever.
The next day, everybody went into work. What's that?
And then, but even after that, like during the whole year, they kept running that for years.
Absolutely. Think about that. That was an iconic commercial.
Yeah, that probably was the best
Super
Bowl commercial ever.
I think that may be it. I think that may be the best one. Let me see. Let me pull that. That was crazy. That was good. That's funny that we both said that because I was talking to somebody at work, and they were like, "I said, what? I said, what's the greatest?" Turn that down. That's it right there.
Hello. Hey, who? What's up? Nothing, B. Just watching the game, having a bud. What's up with you? Nothing. Watching the game, having a bud. True. What's up? Yo, pick up the phone. Hello? What's that?
This is the greatest commercial ever.
Yo, where's Dookie? Yo, Dookie. Yo. What's that? What's that? Hold on. Hello?
Yo, that has to be the greatest Super Bowl commercial ever made.
So what's up, B?
None.
Watching the game, having a bud.
True.
Yeah, that had to be the greatest.
And then they had the ones with the frogs. They kept recycling that.
Yeah.
They ran that one into the ground. That was good though. So and then I mean, you didn't see the one where this one was good. Hold on. It was. I got to give it to the NFL for this one. It was Football 100. And I know you didn't see it, but it was good, Ghost. This was a good commercial. And if you watch the Super Bowl, watch this. This is funny. Hold on.
Welcome to the 100th season of the National Football League. Tonight is not about the league. What's up, Juju? It's about football.
And, of course, they got to have Marshawn Lynch starting all the mess with his hat cocked to the side.
I love Marshawn.
The moment. And everything else.
First thing I thought, fumble!
Oh, boy.
As soon as you see that, that's what every man screams when they watch the game and ball comes out, fumble!
No can do, cowboy.
Deion Sanders, primetime. Urlacher. The old crew from the Dolphins, Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald. Pitches to Barry Sanders with the old school moves.
Damn, B. Y'all know I have more yards than they do.
OLS Emmitt Smith. Watch this.
You still got it.
That hurt.
Do you hear, man? Yeah, that hurt.
Murph said the best Super Bowl commercial was the Darth Vader kid.
Darth Vader kid.
Was that this year?
Obese.
Oh, you Sir Brady right there? Yo. Aaron Donald, man. He looked nasty in there. Franco Harris. Yeah, see? I mean, they put it all together. You got to give it up for this one, Ghost.
He's open. Russ.
Somebody should have tackled Goodell.
Yeah, right?
I got you, Tony.
Oof. That was a nasty tackle.
Can I have a ball, please?
You want this? Come and get it.
Who was that?
I don't know, some little girl. I just thought that was a great commercial. I really enjoyed that one. Wait, let me see what Murph's talking about with this Darth Vader kid.
Yeah, that's what he put in the chat.
Hold on. I gotta see that. I don't remember that one. Oh, here it is. Let's see.
Nobody's gonna have that run of what's up, people though.
Oh, wait a minute. I do remember this one. I remember this one with the car.
Oh, is that when you go outside and he puts his hand in front of the car and the car starts up?
Yeah.
And he acts like he's the He has powers. But
He's trying.
Is the father inside?
Yeah,
starting to call him
with the
inside?
key. Yeah.
Okay.
Caller from the 732. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Otis, it's Gerard, man. What's going on?
I knew it was you, my brother. This is the great Gerard Hector from BET Sports.
How's it going,
Wait a minute.
Good. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, brother? You got a new gig. Tell us about your new gig.
Just what new gig? Doing the SNY stuff?
Yeah, what's up with that?
We're
We're talking to a TV star now. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Listen.
Congratulations, brother.
I am out here grinding, man. You know how it is. Life of a wannabe journalist, right? You got to really work out here in these streets.
Hey, listen, man. You not wannabe. You doing it. BET writer, SNY, TV talk show host, and special guest and family member of the show, Gerard Hector, is joining us. All right, listen. Let's get right into it because we got a lot to go over. I was actually just killing time watching and listening to some sports, some Super Bowl commercials. Let me get your thoughts on the Super Bowl first before we get into the NBA hot and heavy. What were your thoughts on the Super Bowl overall?
I mean, is the NBA part of the Super Bowl? I mean, look, the game was what it was. It was not particularly exciting. You have to, regardless of all that, give your props to Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots and what they do. I mean, those guys in a league that is designed to make everyone 8-8 and create parity, they somehow find a way to make the Super Bowl every single year. It seems like. So look, you got to give those guys props. But my relationship with the NFL and how I feel about their product overall as a whole is much more complicated than this one game.
Yes, it is, and I don't know. I don't know if you caught the early part of the show. I thought it was disgusting of the NFL to parade some of our greatest civil rights leaders and activists out there, all the while knowing they blackball Colin Kaepernick. But we've been over that, so I'm not going to bring that up. And you saw my tweet,
and so I echo that. Right? I mean, we know what the league and those owners are about.
Absolutely.
And so for you to be that way on the one hand, and then front and do this whole we care about civil rights and celebrating the idea of protest and then blame the protester.
Thank you.
Who is Colin Kaepernick. Come on. That's
Thank you.
Nonsense.
Thank you. All right, let's move to the NFL. Hey, listen, I am going to tell you, I did listen to the latest episode of the 7 Footers podcast, episode 11.
Love it.
It was fantastic. You and Jenna doing a great job, as always. Obviously, you're talking about the hottest thing in the NBA, which is this Anthony Davis talk. Let's get right into it. Talk to me. Tell me what your thoughts are about Anthony Davis. Have you heard any new news? Anything changed since the podcast came out, which was just last week, so it's still fresh, but any updates?
I mean, it's all the same thing, right? I mean, Anthony Davis and his agent Rich Paul want to engineer a trade to the Los Angeles Lakers, right? I mean, that is what's happening. We're hearing all this stuff about, well, there are other teams he might consider. And honestly, from what I'm hearing and from what I'm reading and from what everyone's seeing is that's just scuttlebutt, right? I mean, the idea is he wants to go to L.A. and play with LeBron James. That is what's happening, and they're really trying to get the Pelicans to make that move. Now, the Pelicans are trying to figure out, okay, what's in our best interest, right? And they're having all these other teams whisper in their ear. What's really happening right now is you have a bunch of, because it's a competitive league, you have a bunch of other teams who are annoyed at the Lakers who now want to force the Pelicans to wait out the February 7th trade deadline and not make something happen, right? So we're going to have this back and forth. So really the Lakers are bidding against themselves right now. You hear every other second, now it's 4 picks, now it's 5 picks, now it's 6 picks. It's all the young Lakers. I mean, they keep doing that. The only people left on that team is going to be AD and LeBron. They're going to have to get Rich Paul and Maverick and Randy Mim and the rest of LeBron's crew to play 5-on-5 because they don't have enough players.
Now, listen, I'm looking at the LA Times right now, and the headline from 2 hours ago by Broderick Turner at 4:35 p.m., I'm assuming that's LA time, is saying the Lakers have pulled out of conversations aimed at trying to acquire New Orleans All-Star forward Anthony Davis because of the Pelicans' outrageous trade requests, according to a person with knowledge of the situation.
They want 4 1s or something like that.
It said Magic Johnson. Now, hold on. Gerard, you on the 7 Footers podcast said this is a generational talent.
It sure is.
And how much should the Lakers be willing to give?
Well, the question is, what is the Lakers' end game, right? You got LeBron James on a 4-year deal. LeBron is 34 years old, coming off a growing injury. You know your window to win is right now, right? I mean, that is what you're doing. I don't think, even with Anthony Davis this season, they're still not presently constituted good enough, in my opinion, with those two, though they'll be very good, to dethrone the Warriors in the Western Conference, right? But they'll be a lot better. The question is, after they do that, and this summer they'll have more cap space available, well, who else can they get to sign there? But what you're doing is you're going to end up mortgaging away your future, because LeBron ain't going to play forever. You say, okay, but we got Anthony Davis, we can build around him. That's true, you can. But if you're going to be consistently in the Western Conference Finals or going to the NBA Finals, well, you're not picking high in the draft, and you're giving up on young guys. You know, there's some young guys who the Lakers gave away in trades recently who are playing pretty well. A guy like D'Angelo Russell in Brooklyn playing pretty well right now. So they'd love to have him.
No pressure in Brooklyn.
And so really, if you're the Lakers, it's fine if you want to build around ready-made stars and all that. But if you're going to draft guys, which every team does, no matter where you are, you need to improve your player development, all right? Because you're going to send away these guys like Kuzma and Ingram and Ball. And look, we don't know how good they're going to be. Everyone's rushing to say who and what they are. These guys are still young. Ingram's the oldest of that crew at 21, I believe, 22. I mean, these guys aren't fully developed players yet. Look at D'Angelo. D'Angelo is now coming to his own, and he still has room to get better. So, again, if you're the Lakers, what's too much? And only Rob and Magic know.
Well, my thing about
I'm
that
not giving them. If you're gonna start talking about 4 first-rounders, forget about it.
Well,
conversation's over.
It said the person said the Lakers that they wanted 6 to 8 picks. They wanted,
and the players.
I'm assuming
they wanted the players and the pick. No, I don't care how good you are. I'm not giving the ball that to win a championship the next 2 years and then handicap my team for the next 20. No.
And Ghost, I'm with you on that. And so what the Pelicans are doing a little bit too is they're sort of making by demanding these outrageous demands, they're in a way sort of making a commentary to Rich Paul and AD, right? Saying, you guys aren't going to run this the way you think you're going to run it. We're going to do what we want to do. So fine, you want to go to the Lakers? We're going to push the price so exorbitantly that you're going to have to either back out or give us what we want. Either way, we're going to get more teams involved. Because again, right now the Lakers are bidding against themselves. And so what Magic's doing is, and Woj tweeted this out a little while ago, the Lakers are fine to engage with the Pelicans, but they want the Pelicans to be realistic about this. And I don't think that will happen until after the trade deadline passes and when they figure out who's picking where in the draft and what happens this summer in free agency.
And the crazy thing is that he can still, if he says I'm not signing an extension with no other team, then the people that they're going to get from them other teams aren't going to be as good of a package anyway. Well, say like I'm Boston, I'm not giving up Tatum. Right, if you say if Davis says to me, I'm not signing.
Well, he's already said that.
No, that's what I'm saying. So you're not going to, because I heard the Pelicans. Oh, we can get Tatum. Well, if he says I'm not signing an extension, I'm Boston. I'm like, I'm not giving you Tatum.
Right, but see, isn't that what they're trying to do? By they made up this phony list, but really that list was about the Lakers. Because
now, I can still see him going. It depends. I can see him going to the Knicks.
I can't see that
because if the Knicks got all this cap money and they can get.
You'd have to get Durant and you have to get Kyrie.
Now, it depends. Like I said, if he goes there, he's going there with somebody else.
Right.
So I can see the Knicks. I definitely can see the Lakers. And what's the other teams he said?
Milwaukee.
I can see Milwaukee because we playing
Milwaukee
with the Greek
has
freak.
Giannis. They're basically the same player.
Davis can play 5.
The thing about Milwaukee that won't work is part of AD's reasoning for wanting to leave New Orleans is small market, right?
Right.
So Milwaukee's also a small market.
He also wants to win.
But yes, while playing with Giannis is great. But what is Milwaukee going to have to give up in order to get AD, right? I mean, so, yes, a team with Giannis and AD is going to be incredible. But, again, he wants to play in a bigger market with brighter lights.
And he wants to win. New Orleans ain't winning.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
They didn't re-sign Rondo. They didn't try to re-sign Cousins. So what are they doing to say that they show him that they want to win and why he should stay there?
But here's the thing, like I tell people with everybody. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Anthony Davis is a great player, generational player. He can do a lot of things.
Sure is.
But is the price outweighing the value? And it sounds to me right now, based on this article right now, and what you're saying is the price is too high because you're not getting enough value for what you're paying.
If the price was the young players, and I'll give you, and they said 2 first-round picks or maybe 1, I'm cool with that. I'm okay.
Well,
but now if you start talking about 4 picks and it's only 2 rounds of the draft, and you can't give back-to-back years, so now you're stretching this out over what, 6 years, 8 years? No, I'm not doing that.
Here's the other thing about future picks, right? That we all need to keep in mind. They all sound good in theory.
Oh yeah,
but you've got to be good at identifying
absolutely
where there is value in the draft and who's good and who's not good. And over the last however many years, who's proven they're good at that, right? I mean,
nobody.
Republicans really good at identifying talent. I mean, listen, the best teams continue to be the best teams because they're smart and prudent and do what they have to do, right? They spend money on all the areas of their front office, scouting, player performance, development, all of that. And some teams rest on their laurels, the idea of we're LA or we're this, we're that, we're just going to do that, and that's good enough. And so I wonder, how valuable to a team like New Orleans is for future first rounders. Are they any good at identifying draft talent? Not really sure on that.
And you never know. Like you said, you can identify a guy who's in college might be great. I mean, look at the Sixers. People thought, what was that, Fultz?
Well, he had a shoulder injury.
But I mean, he
had a shoulder injury.
Can happen.
Anything can happen. But that's,
look,
my point is, like,
there are a lot of guys.
It's an inexact science. It's an inexact science. But I'm just not giving up the possibility of that many players, because then you're down to 1 draft pick per year, and you only get 2. And then when your players get older, then you're going to be strapped with money because you're going to have him, and then you're going to say go out and sign another free agent, high price free agent. It's just it'll handicap the team too much with what you still need to do to build this team if you're going to give up all those draft picks. I'm cool with giving up Ball, Ingram, and the
that's
players.
The thing, Ghost. That is who the Lakers think they are. The Lakers always think we can go out and get whoever we want because we're the LA Lakers.
Absolutely,
right?
they think that.
That is their belief.
It's a destination spot in the NBA, or at least that's what they believe.
For now.
Right, that is what they believe. That is what they believe.
Especially insofar as you have LeBron for the next 4 years, you have to get something done. Klay Thompson's a free agent this in 2019. Is he going to leave? Is he going to stay? Durant's a free agent. Kawhi. So if you get Anthony Davis now, right, and either one or both of those guys leave, guess what? Golden State is no longer Golden State. So now your opportunity as the Lakers open up. So maybe you say, look, we sneak in there and get 2-3 championships. Maybe LeBron stays healthy for re-ups for another couple of years. You get 3 championships. I don't know. Is it worth that? And see, that's what I'm saying when I talk about value.
If they weaken Golden State next year, LeBron can win a championship next year. If they say they pull off the Davis trade, and then you could talk, say, either Klay, Kyrie, or Kawhi to come there, they have a good chance.
Let me ask you this.
Here's the thing about Klay, really quick. If Klay gets the max from Golden State, which he will, he's not going anywhere. So
is he eligible for that super max deal?
If he gets the max, though, is Durant walking?
Because Durant may walk regardless. It's not really about what Klay does.
No, I'm saying
whether or not Durant comes back.
Because Durant's going to want money too. Nobody's giving. Because I hear everybody on there saying they're not giving hometown discounts no more.
Yeah, the discount days are over for the Warriors.
But Golden State can max both of them. That's what they plan on doing. The question is, does Durant want to stay in Golden State? And I would say at this point, from what I'm hearing and what's been going on, I'm 75 to 80% sure he's leaving unless something drastic happens this season.
You teed it up for me, Gerard, because that was going to be my next question. I heard you talking on the Seventh Putters podcast. Is it a possibility? And if so, give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. What is the possibility that the Knicks could either get Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving, or both of them?
The likelihood of getting Kevin Durant, I will put at a 7 right now.
Wow.
So it's very, very high. There's
Knicks?
A lot of interest there. Everyone knows about the connection between his business partner and agent, Rich Kleiman, in the city of New York, and his long desire to want to run the Knicks. And then in terms of getting both Kevin and Kyrie, I would say that's somewhere between a 5 and a 6.
That's still pretty high.
These things are all in play. They are all in play.
Now, let me ask you this, because you wrote a great article on SNY. Which is the better destination?
Thank
The New York Knicks or the Brooklyn Nets?
Well, honestly, as an organization and a franchise, to me, Brooklyn is the much better destination by far, because organizationally, culture, performance, all of that, that's just a better squad. The one thing the Knicks have that's sort of quote unquote better is the idea of you play your home games in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And the idea that, well, the Knicks are a glamour franchise from the standpoint of they're one of the original franchises.
Mm-hmm.
But from a winning history, what's the Knicks' winning history?
Nothing.
They won 2 titles in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the prestige is like, say, playing in Madison Square Garden.
We love to romanticize 90s basketball when they had Patrick Ewing, but listen, no disrespect, they didn't win no titles then.
No, they didn't.
So I don't really get what this, it's just Knicks winning. They haven't won anything. Honestly, if your thing is a building, if that really is what it's all about, you'd rather play in Madison Square Garden than, hey, to each his own. And yes, and for whatever reason, there's also the idea of the cachet, right? Because the Knicks are a long-standing franchise and have been in New York since the beginning, and they go back a long way, and the Nets were in the ABA, moved from New Jersey, Newark, they've been bouncing around. They don't have those generational fans. The Knicks have generational fans, right? Kids who their dad was a Knicks fan, their grandpa was a Knicks fan, their great-grandpa was a Knicks fan. The Nets don't have that. So there is that sense of sort of tradition and long-standing fandom. So there are those pieces that sort of make the franchise more, quote-unquote, glamour in the eyes of fans. But from straight basketball heads, people who know the game and watch what's going on, you can't literally watch both these franchises and say, I'd rather play with the Knicks. No way.
But think about it. It's like baseball in New York. The Yankees can go 1-161.
Still a Yankee
and
town.
still the Yankees, and still going to want to play for the Yankees over the Mets.
Absolutely.
People want to play for the Knicks because the Knicks name, like I say, playing in the Garden, and it's just different. Look, it sounds better.
Now hold on. Let's bring in our other family member. Murph, how you doing tonight?
I'm chilling. What's going on?
You know who this is, folks. We have the great Jamal Murphy, co-host of Bros Pod, CBS local sports writer, and he has his own fantasy podcast. We'll get to all that. Murph, we're talking free agency. Give me your quick thought. First of all, what are your thoughts on the Super Bowl? We're going to double back because we talked about the Super Bowl. What were your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
It kind of sucked. That's all I can say. I mean, I wish I would have boycotted with Cap. That was my feeling on it.
I did.
I went into it already having Patriot fatigue, basically wanting the Rams to show improve, and that didn't happen. Brady and Belichick get another ring. And then I gotta continue to hear how Brady's the GOAT, even though he only put up 13 points. But whatever.
All right, now let's move on to basketball. We're talking about Kevin Durant, and Gerard gave us a number where he says he thinks that on a scale of 1 to 10, there's a good chance that Kevin Durant might actually sign with the New York Knicks at a 7. He said there's a good chance, maybe 5 or 6, that they get both Kyrie and Durant. Why don't you gauge that for me based on what you know, your insight, and your knowledge of the NBA? What are your thoughts on him getting Kevin Durant, and what are your thoughts on getting them both? Give me both numbers on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the weakest, 10 being the strongest.
Oh, wow. So Durant, I mean, it depends who you believe. I do think the Knicks have, feel like they have some intel that they have a great chance of getting him. I'm just going to put it at a 5 because I gotta see it to believe it. I do, I guess I do believe that he's given them some kind of signal that he's willing to go there. But I couldn't possibly give it any more than a 50-50 chance. Even if he, let's say he did tell them, or his people are telling them already that he will go there, things change. We don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs. We don't know whether, if Golden State wins, I don't know if that's a plus or a minus as far as him leaving Golden State. We don't know what Golden State's going to offer him or going to do to try to entice him in terms of maybe trading Draymond Green or something. You know, a lot of people talk about that. So, you know, we'll see. I'll give him a 50-50 chance, which I think is great when you think about it. And then if they get Durant, I think they'd have a great shot at getting Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie's all that happy in Boston. I mean, we know he hasn't been happy this year. He's already spoken out. You know, he had this whole back and forth with the young guys complaining about, you know, they're not ready to be champions and all this stuff. So we already know there's at least a little bit of dissension there.
What's that? What's
we
the
know
wonder
he's
coach?
basically a New York City guy, you know, since he's from Jersey. So I wouldn't be shocked, especially if they get KD, to see Kyrie follow him.
First of all,
who's that wonder coach in Boston? It's supposed to be the God savior to NBA, who's the greatest coach ever. What's his name?
But hold on. First of all, Murph,
okay, what's his name again?
Brad Stevens.
Oh, okay.
First of all, Murph, pump the brakes on that. He's a New York City guy. All right, he's not a New York City guy. Okay. He's a New Jersey guy. No. See, I saw what you tried to do there. He's a New York City guy. He's from Jersey. He's back, Playboy.
Where do you work?
Huh?
What city do you work in?
I work in New York, but I'm from New Jersey. Anyway.
Yeah, the Lakers lost by 42 points tonight.
Just had to tighten that up, all right? Now, hold on. Now, just recently, I mean, Kyrie was talking about resigning. Here's the clip.
I plan on resigning him next year.
I mean, we were celebrating this.
No. But hold up.
Go ahead.
You see.
No, I know what you're gonna say. Hold on, Gerard. I know what you're gonna say because I heard you on the 7 Footers podcast. That's why I wanted to play that clip. Let me play it again so that people can hear it, and then I'll let you explain it.
You guys will have me back. I plan on resigning him next year.
Gerard, you up? Go ahead.
Everyone loves to say Kyrie said he was coming back. He said, "quote If you guys will have me back." What that means is, if you offer me the max contract, I will come back. Listen, who here on this on this radio show thinks Danny will not try to lowball Kyrie this summer?
Oh, he's gonna lowball him.
Danny Ainge is a master of that thing. If he can get Kyrie for less money, you don't think he's gonna try to do it? Hell yeah, he's doing that. So Kyrie gave himself the perfect out. Yeah, he give me the max. Cool, I'm coming back. I don't think Danny wants to offer him the max.
And now he says this.
Has your mindset shifted, though, in regards to re-signing with Boston, like the announcement?
Ask me July 1st.
Now it's about July 1. So something that's changed up there with Kyrie, whether it's he's not getting along with his teammates, whether it's he doesn't feel like they're going to offer him the max, whatever it is, that Ask Me July 1st can inspire a bunch of Boston fans. Now,
hey,
Murph,
why don't your WonderKind coach up there work out these egos?
The Wonder, I love it. You know who loves the Wonder Kid coach? Murph loves the Wonder Kid coach.
Yeah, I mean he's a great coach. I don't understand what's going on.
They're 35. They're 35 and 19. They're in the third position right now.
Is that bad?
No, they're in the third position right now, tied with Indiana as number 4.
Now I'm also
Indiana's done. We know that.
I'm also hearing things about a possible Kyrie LeBron reunion in LA. Murph, give me your thoughts on that. Give me a number on that on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'd love it.
I would hope for Kyrie's sake that that's like a 2 or a 3. I know he called LeBron and said, I understand where you're coming from, blah, blah, blah. I treated you badly when we were together, all that kind of stuff. But
that sounds like when you call your old girl. Cleveland. That sounds like when you call your girl, like, baby, please, baby. I know I messed up.
You know what it sounds like?
You said it, not me.
It sounds like when you turn 26 years old and you realize that your dad was telling you all the right stuff. You walk back in the house and say, you know what, Dad, you was right. I should have listened some years.
Right.
My bad.
But
I'm sorry.
even that, you should. Even saying that, he gave him his props. If he were to go back to play with him, I mean, that's just. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, you're a grown man. You have your own team. You don't need. You shouldn't feel like you need LeBron. I think that would just be. I mean, that's just too humbling. If he were to leave just for a couple of years and then run back to LeBron.
Now, is that humbling, or is that a man who said, "Listen, I now know what it's like to be the Batman.
What if the Lakers offer him max?
And I'm better as a Robin, and I can get 2 more championships potentially by going out there and being Robin instead of trying to grind on my own. Because
Durant.
Look, that's what I was about to say. See Durant. Durant said, "Look, I'm gonna join the Super Friends. I don't need to be, Superman out here by myself. Let me go join the League of Justice or whatever they call that thing. You know what I mean? Let me get down with these cats. I'll win 3 championships."
If he wants to be a Robin, that's fine. If he considers himself a Robin wearing little tights and all that, that's fine. Let him do that.
Now,
man, why you gotta slander people, man? You're always out here slandering people.
Here's my thing about that. Here's my thing about that, though. Is it wrong for an individual to realize and say, "Look, I need somebody else to help me," specifically an NBA player, to say, "Look, Kyrie's not going to carry you to a championship by himself. He needs help. We know that. LeBron can't do it by himself. He needs help. Basketball is a team sport. Nobody does it by themselves.
Nobody does it by themselves anymore.
Right. So why is it such a bad thing if he says, "Hey, dog, let's put the band back together"?
But you know what makes it bad is the way he bolted out of Cleveland and ran from him to say, "I want this." Now, if the Lakers offered him the most money, then I wouldn't have an issue with him. Okay, whatever. You took the most money. You end up going back to play Robin. But say the Lakers offer him less money, he runs back because he feels he needs LeBron, then you should have never left Cleveland that way. You should have never left like, "I want to be my own man. I want to run my own team." And 1 year in, you get a little scared. You say, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to run back to my dad."
Right, and there are other guys he can play with. He doesn't have to run back to LeBron. He could, why not play with KD? Why not play with someone else? He has to run back to LeBron.
I would love to see him go back and play, because I think him and LeBron made a great team together, and they would do wonders in LA if they grabbed another superstar. But I can see the perception of how people will look at it and fans will look at it. But I want to see him go play with LeBron.
Listen, as a Laker fan, selfishly, I want to see him go play with LeBron as well. But as an NBA fan and as a basketball fan, I think the better thing for the league would be for him to wind up in New York with KD and get them, a third kind of third wheel, because I think the league is better when the Knicks are better. I liked it in the 90s when it was, even though I'm not a Knicks fan, it was fun to watch those games. It was fun to watch Patrick Ewing lose. It was fun to watch the Pacers come in there and beat them up. Watch the Bulls beat them up.
Now, I want to see.
I enjoyed it.
They're gonna make the way the league is set up and how they do things, I think, has to change. And the only way it's going to change is something drastic happens. I think all the superstars should just leave the East and go to the West.
Why?
The Greek Freak should go join the Lakers.
Why?
Kyrie could join the Lakers in the East. To be so terrible. They'd be like, you know what? We can't have these people building super teams. We have to balance it out somehow.
But there's always been super teams.
Not this way.
Yeah, there has. Look at the Lakers of the 80s and 90s.
Not this way.
Look at the Lakers. The Celtics of the 90s and the 80s. The Celtics of the 80s had Bird, McHale, Parrish, DJ.
Parrish.
Come on. That was a super team.
You had like 2 great players on the team. Bird and McHale.
So what was Robert Parrish? A slouch?
The weed man? He was all right. He was good. He was Bill Cartwright.
The reason
he just called Robert Parrish Bill Cartwright.
He was Bill Cartwright. He was Bill Cartwright. He played all right down there. He wasn't going dependent on Robert Parrish to do nothing.
All right. So what was the Lakers with Magic, Worthy, and Kareem?
I give you that one.
That was a
super team.
What about the Sixers?
Hey, I'm a Sixers fan. I'm not calling them a super team. You had Doc. You had Moses. Everybody else is all right.
Pretty super.
Wow. You got high standards.
You gonna say a super team? You gonna say they're the same super team as the Lakers?
No, because they
then we can't.
They were super competitive. They got a championship.
Now we're gonna say a competitive to super team. A super team is something different.
Listen, that was one of the most competitive teams.
Yes, competitive.
In the 80s.
Yeah, they're competitive. I'm not counting a super team. I'm a Sixers fan. Yes, I love Doc.
Moses
I love
Malone,
Moses
Dr. J, Andrew Toney, Mo Cheeks.
Yeah,
Bobby Jones coming off the bench.
They won what? 1 ring, right?
1 ring after Moses.
Yeah, because
after Moses got there,
they won 1 ring because the other two teams were bigger.
Kept kicking their ass.
Yeah, the other teams were bigger and better. So we had 3 super teams, but 2 of them were dominating.
They're not super teams.
I think of them.
The Lakers were a super team.
Well, that's obvious.
The Lakers and the
Here's
Celtics.
the thing: these teams have always existed. The reason
Absolutely.
why people don't like it now is because the players are controlling it.
Absolutely.
But back then, the owners controlled it.
I'm always.
Guess what?
I'm
I
a
prefer the
player
players
person.
controlling it.
I'm for the players. I just don't think it's not the same now.
Gerard, you said it best. There's always been dominant teams in the NBA. The only difference is that now the players are undermining the front offices and saying, look, we can orchestrate it. We have control over our careers. We can figure out ways to play together. I love that aspect of it.
Exactly.
I love that these guys are taking control of their careers and saying, look, you want a ball? Let's ball. Let's figure out a way to make this work.
I'm a little different when people take less money to go play somewhere.
Now, I'm not for anybody taking less, but if that's what you want to, if that's what you want to do,
I understand that.
Right? I can't tell you not to, but I'm of the baseball model. No, nobody takes less. Nobody should take less.
You can't take less in baseball.
Right. That's what I mean.
The union's not letting it happen.
The union don't let that happen, and that's a union issue. But that's a different issue.
But but baseball is also a non-salary cap league.
Bingo.
Right? Whereas NBA is a salary cap league, right? So you got, you're not quite comparing apples and apples.
Well, again, and that's a bigger issue because should the NBA have a salary cap? In my mind, no. But that's the issue. We operate under the rules we operate under. I know. One of the things I didn't ask you guys
there is
about
a salary cap in NBA.
No, I'm saying it's a salary cap league.
In basketball.
But in baseball, there's not.
Well, you get a penalty.
It's a
luxury
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but
if you go over enough time, it's a huge penalty.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not. I mean, you can go over if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think the Yankees have like the 5 best players in the league.
But they're still not over the salary cap. They're still not over the threshold, though.
You got to be over the salary cap.
No, they're not.
Once they sign Machado, they'll be over.
I was going to say, they're going to be well over that cap.
Yeah, they're not worried about it now.
They might pick up Bryce Harper at the same time.
You know what? I wish they would. If I'm Steinbrenner's, I'm signing everybody to a $500 million contract.
Said the Mets fan.
Just because they got shafted with Madoff.
See, Murph's still mad at your opening comment when he called up talking about this Yankees town. I hear it in his voice.
Well, it's true.
Hey, Murph, talk to me about this Porzingis trade. We spoke briefly about it through text. What are your thoughts on it? We kind of talked about it in a roundabout way, but give me your thoughts on it.
Can you say how is BS to how they acted like the trade happened after the meeting? This had to be going down well before this 5-minute meeting that they had on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously. I think both sides, I guess, wanted this to happen. The Knicks were kind of trying to play it like it was all because Porzingis wanted out and they had to appease him. But obviously, we saw how fast the trade happened. So they were talking about it. They were talking to teams about, the possibility of acquiring Porzingis beforehand. And then when they had that meeting, it's almost like he told them exactly what they wanted to hear, and they just pulled the trigger with Dallas. When I first heard the trade, I didn't like it at all. I didn't know that Porzingis, really wanted out. We all heard the report saying, he called the meeting and requested a trade, but the Knicks at that time still had the leverage. I mean, they could have worked. I thought they could have worked it out. If you really wanted him, you have a year to work on him and to get him to embrace New York. I mean, not too many players. As bad as the Knicks are, as bad as a lot of New York teams are. Once big time players usually get here, they don't usually leave on their, try to, request a trade or leave on their own, like a la Carmelo Anthony. The Knicks had to beg him to leave pretty much. So it is, I think that's a rare thing for New York fans. We're not really used to that. And if you checked out KP's IG page afterwards, where he tried to say goodbye to the Knicks fans, if you would have read some of those comments, I mean, it was some of the worst things I've ever read.
Yeah, when you tweeted about that, I went and saw the comments. Oh my God, I was crying.
Why were they laughing?
Oh, they were brutal.
Were they really?
Oh yeah. Yo, I've never seen somebody. The fans went at him hard.
Here's my thing about that with the trade. First of all, I thought it was a good trade from jump. I thought the Knicks made the right move. You got rid of a guy who didn't want to be here. You got rid of a guy who's coming off an ACL injury. You got rid of a guy that just flat out was a pain in the butt. I mean, he's talking all his junk like he won something. You ain't nobody, Kristaps Porzingis.
What did he really say?
Listen, you come in here.
I didn't like the direction of the team.
Right. You don't come in here and get to tell us you're a third-year player? Coming off a major injury?
He was the best player on the team for the 3 years.
Okay, that doesn't say much that you're the best. What are you, a one-eyed man in the Valley of the Blind? I don't care that you're the best.
But didn't say I don't like the direction of the team. It's his right.
It's his right, but that's why I say, listen, Okay, you know what? You don't like the direction of the team? Get going then. We'll clear up some cap space. We'll get some young players in here. We'll get the guy we should have drafted last year. We'll make some moves to position ourselves for the future. The Knicks weren't winning anything with him anyway.
But
So
it's good. They put him in a better position because now he goes to
Absolutely.
play with Luka, and they're going to have some picks.
Gerard, what were your thoughts?
And what Scott Perry and Mills did, basically they decided to bet on themselves. I mean, remember, Porzingis was not their pick. That was Phil Jackson's pick. So they want to prove that they can turn this thing around. And you're right, Porzingis. When it comes down to it, after more stories come out, he said it himself. He didn't deny any of this, saying that he asked for a trade. He didn't deny it. So when it comes down to it, he obviously did not want to be here. So in the end, it's a good trade when you think about everything they got back. I even like Dennis Smith Jr. more than most people. I think he still has a lot of potential. He hasn't even scratched the surface in terms of what his production can be.
I thought he was better.
I think they got a lot of pieces back, but the key is what they do in free agency, because if they don't get one of the big names,
they're done
in free agency. I think it's going to be a huge backlash.
I thought that I didn't think Dennis Smith Jr. is as good as his hype was. Because when I read all the hype about him playing, I started watching more. I'm like, oh man, he's going to be great. Yeah.
Young point guard, though. Young point guard. Those guys take time to develop.
Oh, yeah, true.
What were your thoughts, Gerard, on the Porzingis trade?
He didn't do nothing for me on my fantasy squad, though, so I dropped him.
I went back and forth literally on this trade a million times, talking myself in and out of it and whether it was good or whether it was bad. On the one hand, the Knicks traded a 22, 23-year-old under contract, 7'3", excellent player, right? Like a guy can shoot it, defend at the rim, pass it. I mean, that's under player control for cap space. Now, cap space is all well and good, as Jamal said, if you sign one of the big names. But if they strike out and the Knicks end up with Tobias Harris and Niko Mirotic or Jimmy Butler and Chris Middleton, and I love all four of those guys I mentioned, but if you max out those two guys, what are you, a number 4 seed and a first-round playoff exit? Like, that's not good. So it's all going to be determined on whether or not they hit a home run in free agency and land Durant, Kyrie, etc. But I love the look of that pick and roll now in Dallas with Luka and Kristaps.
Listen.
And Dallas's performance and medical team and player development staff really confident. They're like, we're not worried about the ACL. We trust our staff, and we're going to make this happen. So I like that down there.
Of course.
They traded Baby Dirk to learn from Dirk.
I mean, what are they supposed to say? Well, we're really concerned. No, of course they're going to say we're not worried about it. I mean
they're worried they're going to make the trade.
But it's also their athletic staff and performance staff is among the best in the league, unlike the Knicks.
Listen, I didn't have a problem with it.
Have one?
Obviously, stop it. Obviously, we're not going to know whether this trade is a very good trade or just an okay trade or a bad trade until we find out who the players are as a result of it. So we'll see that coming up in the summer of 2019. But yeah, I think it's a good start.
I'm predicting right now the Knicks are going to strike out on every big name free agent in the summer.
And you're not the only one who's predicted that. That's a pretty common prediction. So we'll see. I think and one of the other dynamics with the Porzingis thing really wasn't so much Porzingis who it seemed like had the problem. It seemed like it was his brother, who's his manager. His brother Giannis, was basically the one who was requesting all these meetings and
if he has that's your representation.
I would bet that he was the one who didn't like the direction.
Right.
It's Porzingis. His brother's just the bad guy.
Exactly.
His brother's playing the good role.
Exactly. His brother's his agent, so you get your agent to do the dirty work so you don't look bad to the fans.
It's like the artist and the artist manager. And they say, oh, man, the artist got a lot of requests. No, the manager, but then you got to have that person you can blame it on. So
and then they say, well, I don't know what. That's my agent.
I'll talk to him. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to him.
He's making all these. I never said that.
I mean, just from watching the Knicks covering the Knicks and watching Porzingis, and it never seemed as if he had any problems with New York. I mean, most guys who can't handle New York, they struggle when they play at home. They struggle under the pressure. That wasn't really Porzingis' thing. He seemed to thrive at the Garden and all that. So that's why when I first heard it, I didn't even believe that he was asking to be traded. But I mean, when you talk to people, behind the scenes, I think his brother was really playing a huge role. And we see this all the time with players. Like they have, Derrick Rose, his brother was, supposedly pulling strings. This happens a lot. And one angle, and and this is just something, being black in America, you think about is the fact that the Knicks basically have an all-black front office.
Yes.
And you never know. Maybe that doesn't play well with some people.
You never know. I mean, it's quite possible that there was some tension, some cultural differences. We'll never know about that. But my thing is this. If your agent, just like with, and I'll give the same credit or the same blame, I don't know how you want to put it, to Anthony Davis and Rich Paul. Listen, Anthony Davis came out and said, I never gave him a list. You gave him a list. Oh, I never made those comments. Rich Paul made the comments. You made the comments. That is your mouthpiece. They work for you. So if it's your brother, if it's Rich Paul, whatever they say or that gets attributed to them, in my mind, goes right back to you. So I'm not going to give them a pass just to say, well, Porzingis didn't seem like it. And I know you're there, Murph, but of course he's gonna play nice with everybody and put it. Oh, my brother said that. Yeah, well, you know how brothers can be. Sometimes they do crazy things. I don't know. I'm just here to play basketball. Playing dumb like they don't go home and talk about it. He don't go home and complain about it. Say, man, this team sucks. You know what I mean? They have those conversations. How do we orchestrate a way out of here? But anyway, I digress. Listen, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the All-Star game coming up? Talk to me about that real quick before we let you out of here.
What All-Star game?
All-Star weekend.
NBA,
yeah.
NBA All-Star game. I'm looking forward to it. Giannis Antetokounmpo was in town. He was in Brooklyn last night. He's one of the captains along with LeBron James. So this year they're actually televising the draft,
which is the right move. That's a smart move.
Players to their team. That could be fun.
Where is it being played at this year?
Charlotte,
yeah. Oh, I thought it was Charlotte.
Yeah, no, it should be fun. All-Star Weekend, I think of all the leagues in the United States, the NBA does All-Star Weekend the best. They really showcase and do a lot of really great things. I mean, the Pro Bowl, who even watches that thing?
Nobody. 7 million people watch it, though.
Yeah.
7 million losers.
Gambling. 7 million people have it on their TV and they're doing other stuff.
Probably.
Gambling's a real sickness, So
I don't watch any All-Star games.
You don't watch the NBA All-Star game?
Why?
Why not?
Well, I'm seeing this go up to be 160 to 162.
That's it. Hey, Gerard, I heard on the 7 Footers podcast you headed down there. What's on your schedule this weekend?
We will be down there. We're going to try to do some micro pods and get some NBA past and future greats, to chat with us for a bit. We're looking forward to it. Just another weekend celebrating in my mind the best league and the best sport.
I didn't know it was this weekend.
He is literally giving me this look like, no. Hey, guys, he's looking at me like, why are you talking about the NBA All-Star game? And I'm like, are you serious right now?
I didn't know it was this weekend.
I'm getting crickets from him. Anyway, hey, Murph, you go first.
Next weekend.
Oh, it's next weekend. I'm sorry. Anyway, give me. Let the people know where they can find you, Murph. You go first.
Definitely on Bill Roden on Sports Podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and CBS Sports Local. And also check me out on Twitter at Blackatologist and all that good stuff.
All right. And Gerard, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me at Black Sports Online, SMY.TV, and you can find me as on the 7 Footers Podcast on YouTube and on Twitter at JS Hector.
Hey, guys, keep doing your thing, man.
Yes,
we appreciate your time. We appreciate your insight and all the great opinions. And we love having you on the show. Still, we got to get you in studio so we can really chop it up and just act a fool up in here, all right?
Let's go Yankees.
Oh, listen, we're thinking of doing this NBA playoff mega crossover pod in April, Otis. So we got to let you guys know about that.
Hey, please do, man.
Rent on our podcast studio, get everybody in there. Might get real crazy, but I think it'll be fun.
I'd love to be a part of it, man. Yeah, man, that'll be a great time. Thank you again, guys, for making our show better. We appreciate you guys. Have a great night.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Have a great night.
That's the great Jamal Murphy and the great Gerard Hector giving us their insight. I'm sorry, the NBA All-Star Game comes on next weekend. It's next weekend, 2/17. I thought I read it as 2/7, so that was my mistake. Folks, we appreciate your time. Keep it locked. I know, Ghost, you're not going to watch it, but it'll be a great time. I love the NBA All-Star. I like the
watch
baseball
the dunk
All-Star
contest and all that stuff, but then that got boring.
Mr. Baseball in chat says he agrees MSG is the draw. He's been chatting it up with Ghost. Shout out to S. Lovell. Shout out to Drunk Falcon. Shout out to Murph for calling in. We appreciate all the support, man. We appreciate the love. Keep it locked next week.
The slam dunk contest. Miles Bridges, John Collins.
Oh, stop it. Slam dunk contest is
Diallo,
done.
Dennis Smith Jr. There's nobody exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I mean, skills when I may watch, it's like 8,000 3-point shooters. You're going to lose to Steph Curry.
Is Steph Curry even in it?
Yeah, he's in it. Him and his brother are going to be in it because they're both from Charlotte.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, we appreciate the time, folks. We'll see you next week on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. As we always say, you cannot play the game unless you are in the game. Good night.
Good night. Rutgers lost by 12.
To a number 17. It's okay.